Alright, good morning, racers and race enthusiasts. It looks like everybody here.
Indeed. Let's
He's here a little bit early. So that's fantastic. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the start of the second round started today, I believe, or was it yesterday?
The start of the second round was 2 days ago. Oh, I mean, I believe it started 4 days ago. It was just that the first race was.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
The music is loud compared to the comms. The music, I believe, will cut out. We may actually have to ping the volunteers because it looks like our restream is not restreaming.
Oh, you are right. Actually, that is not correct at all.
Yeah, so I'll put that ping for help thing. See what happens.
I will do that right now.
One small technical difficulty. It looks like both of our racers are ready to press the start button though. We'll not be counting down for a little bit.
Something is not quite right in the call we're in. We're gonna hopefully get that fixed soon.
It shouldn't take long.
So I think weekends are a little off days for the volunteers, generally.
Yeah. Oh, we have a volunteer coming in to help us, so should just be a couple seconds. Anyway, we can start by talking a little bit about our racers here today. Today, this second round, I believe, is something I want to talk about. The differences between the first and the second round. The first round was supposed to be very stacked with the top seeds generally smashing the lower seeds. We only had one close game, which was within 1 second. Both races were just very, very close in skill level and time. It was a very, very good race. And then we had one complete upset. But other than that, I believe we had about 2019 top bracket winners just pretty much absolutely smashed the lower bracket players, which was to be expected with the Swiss format. So the difference between the first round here and the second round is going to be that generally all of these matches are going to be much, much closer. And it looks like we have a bad timer start, maybe just a test from Aprillommat. I believe that both runners should actually run this test.
Yeah. It also looks like we're not getting any audio from either of the runners.
Yet. I believe that should be fixed. April's timer. Okay, there we go. We have audio now on our side. So that's good. Excellent. April's timer might have just been running a test. On game time, the timer just starts when you write.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I will
ask
the runners if they're ready.
And then we'll be doing the countdown pretty quickly here. It's around the time of the race start, so we'll be getting right into it real quick.
Just need confirmation from April and we'll be good to go.
Okay. We'll give it ready. Excellent. So, and then a little bit personal about little bit of a. I would like to say that both of these runners will be very likely running against themselves rather than their opponent here today. I spoke a little bit with both of them. I know both of these runners somewhat personally. I know that WaterWithFlavor had a 56 time when he got his 59 in the race. And since then, he's improved that time to a 55. So I'd like to think that he would like a little bit of a faster time just in the races, just to show off, if nothing else, his improvement.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw in chat he was also talking about how he wanted both participants to do a PV here. Also, very synced startup. That was nice.
Yes. But
April may not have load normalizer.
I don't think we need to worry about that. Sometimes the King's Pass starts are just a little different.
All right. April was participating in the 106 tournament at the anniversary on the 24th. That's right, and she was up against you in your segment. Yeah,
and she said she felt pretty good about her run there. But mainly I wanted to talk about a little bit of her last race. She mentioned that she felt that her time was, I believe, about a 120. She didn't feel like reflected the amount of practice that she had put. Oh,
no, it's all right. It's all right. No. They're just doing the sync.
Oh, there's the sync up, of course.
Yeah.
It always disturbs me when they do that while runners in the air or something and just freezes in an unusual place. But it looks like everything is all right here.
Everything's okay.
We have both runners dropping into Dirtmouth at relatively similar times. WaterWithFlavor just slightly ahead at the beginning, getting, I believe, a 53-second King's Pass or 52, which is both of which are considered pretty good times.
Indeed. Right now, there's virtually no difference between the runners.
Yeah, that 3-second difference can be easily made up by something as small as a Gruz drop going very poorly, 2 spits on a Balder. It's basically nothing.
Speaking of which, both runners get through the Gruz drop without any issues. Lucky.
Yeah. And it looks like April took 1 hit of damage in King's Pass. I did not see that. That could end up mattering later. However, most experienced runners know enough about this section of the game to where there's no real danger of dying. But April choosing to take the heal, which will cause her to miss
time
the spike. Yeah.
Unfortunate. But she cleans it up fairly well. It is going to leave her a little bit behind now, giving WaterWithFlavor quite the leeway.
Yeah. I generally am a fan of healing in the early game, but I do believe unless April had worried that she was going to die in that arena, losing another full 3 HP, she should have saved that heal for a little later. That timing, a little crucial.
Struggling a bit with the Vengeflies there.
Alright, so WaterWithFlavor makes it through the statue pogo room cleanly. Pogoing a little bit on the Vengefly, which is slightly RNG, but
it's a bit of a tick statue Vengefly pogo, but it works.
April going for the statue pogo, not quite getting it, choosing to kill the Vengefly to get it out of her way and move on that way. 3 HP going into this section should be absolutely fine, even if she face tanks a couple of the enemies here. The first boss of the game, every runner's been quite familiar with, and WaterWithFlavor will be coming up on that.
Yes, it's quite the easy thing, just like almost any other bug. Just smack it a few times and it falls. We're not even going to kill it in this race. We're going to take the side here as Water will display. As soon as he finishes slamming the ground, they're going to smack up on the wall there and just escape. No one cares about this bug. And April doing the same. We're coming up to the end of the first split with Vengeful Spirit.
Water on pace for what seems to be a really, really great crossroads. Yeah, entering at 3:25. That is an extremely good crossroads time, especially in a race. Definitely going to be beating my gold here. Did he? You said he got double spike?
No, he missed one of them.
He missed double spike, but still managed to get something like a 33-34 for Vengeful Spirit. That's pretty incredible.
It was, yeah, very good. Very good.
April will be coming in a little bit behind now. More than just a couple Balder spits away. I would say this is a somewhat significant lead for Water, but you know, anything can happen in a race environment.
Definitely, any major slip up will have the other player go skyrocketing ahead. Even at this distance they are now, April can still catch up. Let's count. Oh, first spit for Water. Very good RNG for his side of the game.
Pretty easy to count to 1, I'm going to say. Though there is some, I think there's some confusion on how other people count the Balders. I've specifically made the mistake of counting the amount of whatever number the Balder that comes out is. So I would call that like a 9th spit Balder when others would call it 8. Anyway, both of them get a first spit Balder. No confusion on that whatsoever. The exact same RNG. April did not take a single hit throughout the section since False Night. She was able to get a full heal there, so she doesn't have to bench. I don't know if you noticed Water, whether he had to bench or not.
I don't believe he did. And he had a lot of good soul in the way. Didn't have to go out of his way for any of it.
Excellent.
Enough 0 with spit.
So we have Water here going for the first fireball skip and just barely missing it. It looked like just a few frames off on the turnaround there. You really need a quick turnaround and cast the fireball in the opposite direction to land on the other side of the platform. Only saves about 4 seconds. The really crucial one is going to be this skip that comes afterwards. He's building soul for it right now, all throughout this room. April going for the fireball skip, not getting the turnaround. That's all right.
Yeah, that difficult ones to land. Unfortunately, with this upcoming fireball skip, if you miss it, the backup is about 15 added seconds to the run, which is something not many people want to add, but I mean, hey, I guess it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Water gets it, no issues. Lovely.
All right, and something I'd like to point out, just going through this room that April is in, they're supposed to gather. They would like to have full soul coming up to this next fireball skip. It means they'll have to spend less time building it. Her missing that jump and missing those birds will mean she's just slightly underneath. Should be fine since most fireball skips are done with just 2 fireballs. Not quite getting the turnaround she wanted, but very smartly aborting the fireball skip instead of wasting a second charge of soul on it and just going immediately for the squid. That will mean she won't have to spend as much time going through here, hopefully collecting soul.
And it looks like Water also did get the 3rd fireball skip as well. So
no, he actually, he missed the fireball skip. He didn't. He didn't even really go for it. He walked off the edge and went to the man pogo.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
That's all right. And April choosing to do the exact same. We'll see if he actually goes for the man pogo. She is going to lure this enemy over. It's not quite obeying her.
Oh no.
Looking like she's maybe not too familiar with the lure setup, jumping away from the platform a little bit more than I believe you're meant to. But it's all right. She makes it up nonetheless without too much time loss. No falling down there, which would be, I believe, the most annoying way to go through that room. So she manages to avoid that.
It looks like there is a little confusion about April's pronouns, so I'm not sure.
Right. Yes, I just thought that I would use they them pronouns because there is a little bit of confusion there. WaterWithFlavor, by the way, handling the second set of Moss Knights very, very well, while April just finished off the first one. So he's has a significant lead here, already fighting the boss of Green Path, Hornet, who will give him the dash ability.
What most considered to be the first boss of the run. No, quite a fun one if you use the strats properly.
So staggering her all the way across the room with a fireball like that is probably the thing that you want to see the least in this fight. It feels pretty bad to have to just walk over to her. Walking before you get dashed just feels extremely, extremely slow. April getting not the best RNG with the Moss Knights, I believe, but handling it fairly well, only taking one hit, eliminating both Knights. With a huge amount of Geo, I might add, to end this section with.
Water getting Mothwing Cloak at about 8:22, it looked like. Maybe a slight bit earlier. April coming into Hornet at about 8:43, roughly.
So with this kind of Geo, I believe she's just gone out of her way to collect pretty much every Geo that's fallen. I saw her pause for a little bit even on one of the massive Moss Chargers, or just regular Moss Chargers that they kill. Pausing for a little bit just to collect some extra Geo. And this could mean that she just skips a second wave of hoppers later on.
Yeah, definitely.
So even though she's a little bit behind, this could indicate a future time save for her.
Yeah, Water coming up to the claw split, going to drop down into fungal waste. Some really nice movement here if you want to focus on that, since April just beat Hornet and is picking up her Moth and Cloak at 9:19. Pretty respectable time, honestly. Coming into the fungal drop with Water here. Very nice movement.
That first room's a bit of a doozy. There's a lot of room to hard fall, to fall into acid if you do it wrong. Water just demonstrating once again his general proficiency, managing to avoid the major time losses of that area. Though, as I've learned through running, there's always some smaller time losses, no matter how good you really think you are.
Yeah, movement is so much in this game, and not everyone, or no one can really have perfect movement at a consistent pace.
Water, and again, avoiding another hard fall there with clean dash cancels to stop his vertical height from going too high. Doing a similar thing with those mushrooms there, gathering a hit of soul and then dashing over before he can get the full pogo height. Here we have the explosion pogo. One of the more flashy tricks of the run, though not as hard as non-runners may imagine. He gets it first try, just bouncing very gently, very gracefully on an explosion. Sounds a little silly saying that, but...
Water is having a very, very clean run so far. Not a whole lot of mistakes that we can point out for him.
Ooh, damage tanking a little bit off the Mantis, but he avoids, again, any major time loss by still managing to make it up there.
The commentator's curse is real, everyone. Just as they say, not many mistakes. He takes a damage tank when he should have been able to get up there fairly cleanly, but it's my fault. It's my fault.
April now following him through. It looks like she has avoided most major issues as well. She took a hit of damage somewhere. If that was a acid dunk, that actually could be somewhat significant time. It's about a 3-second respawn timer before you're allowed to move again after one of those. If it was something like getting hit by a mushroom, much less significant. Choosing to heal before the for this explosion pogo, perhaps knowing that this is one of her weak points, or one of their weak points, not entirely sure about that.
Very normal setup by April.
Try.
Very good, very good.
Water is going to be making his way to the second boss of this race.
Technically third.
If you can call it a boss, indeed. It's going to be Gruzmother. She's going to die very, very quickly. April, meanwhile, missing the Mantis Pogo, which is crucial, but managing to make it over to the left platform.
No, April. You got it. That's so unfortunate. She has to... she's going to go for it with one Mantis.
I don't believe you're able to actually get up with one Mantis if the Mantis only has 2 health, which I believe it does. So I think, yeah, going around is going to be the play there. Then as we were just speaking about April's Mantis Pogo, Water has completely demolished the Gruz Mother. I believe getting a completely clean up on the Gruz babies. Just, again, very clean run from him. Showing off his experience. Definitely on pace for that much better race time.
Quite practiced.
And, sorry, who was it that said they wanted both runners to PB? Was that Water?
That was Water, yes.
All right, so he feels confident that he can get a PB here in this race.
Yeah, he's running like he can. That's for sure. April got the claw and is quitting out to go fight Gruzmother, like what Water just did. Yep, equipping the Shaman Stone. Water is going to do Shade Skip up in the blue path or blue lake. Very clean, very clean.
April, I believe, by the way, also on pace for a personal best. Not entirely sure about a personal best. Definitely going to have a better race time, though, with her last race beginning with a pretty early death. And again, she believing that did not really reflect the skill or practice that she had put into this. Perhaps a little bit of nerve, she said, and she's doing much better this time around. No early deaths. I think we'll be looking to the Soul Sanctum for our next potential death spot. But that won't be for a little while, with two major events or quit-outs happening before that. If you want to talk a little bit about the Golden Husk and Dash Blast splits.
Yeah, so coming into King Station here, we're going to take the bench after going down and farming these guys, as you can see with Water with Flavor. As soon as we hit the bench, though, we're going to hop off and take a left, where we're going to find this little hidey hole that this golden boy has hidden himself in. He holds 420 Geo. Nice. And we're going to take it so we can afford Dash Slash. A crucial ability.
Something I noticed there, Water with Flavor going out of his way, even damage tanking a little bit to kill some of these enemies, because he realized he was a little lower on Geo than he would have otherwise liked to be there. Where I believe April should not be having this issue with significantly more Geo than you'd probably want in this section. She can afford to skip a few enemies. So I would actually like to see her do that and save a little bit of time on Water going into this. But first she'll have to do her Shade Skip and make sure that there's no mistakes there. So yeah, as Sylvie was saying, Water just finishing up the Golden Husk.
Ooh, unfortunate. Oh, she kills it. She didn't realize that Shade maintains her damage or its damage through. Oh, you can't die over there.
Yeah. She needs to lure this Husk now all the way over to the right side. Pretty significant time loss is going to be, but again, I believe still. Ooh,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Just past the door? Okay. All right. That is about the maximum that a distance away from the bench that you can die without the Shade getting a really bad spawn there. Alright, so if you want to go back to the Great Hoppers or... Oh, wow. Just barely making it up there.
No PTSD allowed in chat. Wait, that's not right. Anyway, Water coming for the Hoppers, grinding up the rest of the Geo he needs for Great Slash. Doing it pretty well. Killing those Hoppers like nothing. Oh, did she equip Shaman Stone? It doesn't look like she did.
She might have actually done it on the first quit out, right? Because
possibly.
Or not quit out, on the first death.
I
don't know. What was it? It seemed to indicate that she hadn't.
We don't know yet. We didn't see. Someone in chat was questioning.
Oh yeah, so they might have just missed that she probably put it on or on the first death that her Shade there.
Nice wall cling storage out of the elevator there.
Oh, she did not equip it either.
She did not equip it. Yeah, unfortunate. take over for a quick sec.
Oh, okay. Anyway, she is going to kill every single one of these husks that I said that earlier that she might be able to skip. Again, maybe going to skip the entire second wave of hoppers. I would really like to see her pick up on her geo count. It is one of the more important parts of routing, I believe, is to take note of just how much geo you have and where you can make up for it if you're missing some, and where you can skip geo and save some time later on if you have enough. Water, in the meantime, took the lower path through City of Tears. He'll be coming up on a lever skip here in the City of Tears. And this skip is pretty important. There are actually a couple ways around, though I don't reckon he will take either of them, just barely making it over to that other side, which is fantastic. Only losing 1 HP, definitely amount you can afford to lose. April having, in the meantime, a little bit of trouble with the golden husk, actually a risk of death. If you mess up the damage cycle on that creature, it's so tanky that most Hollow Knight players are actually not too familiar with some super duper tanky enemies like that.
Yeah,
but
dying to Gorgeous Husk always feels really bad. I know from experience.
Yeah. She manages to make it out safely, though. And again, I would like to take note of just how much geo she skips in this second section. Hoping for an entire wave of hoppers to just go unkilled. It could be slightly risky.
Water coming up to the first lever skip here. Second, technically, but...
Yeah, the first with Dash Slash. So...
Yeah.
The reason the runners go all their way out of their way to go to the eastern half of the map, literally the eastern extremity of the map, is to get Dash Slash, which will help give the nail a lot of extra range to hit levers through walls, something exclusive to the older patches of the game. Mm-hmm. And it is just able to save a massive amount of time, skipping a mini boss there, so to speak, that would normally be guarding that spell that Water just picked up, which is an upgraded version of the Vengeful Spirit that we've seen them using. Mm-hmm. April doing exactly what I wanted to see, realizing that she has massive amounts of geo, completely skips the second wave of hoppers, picking up a little bit of time save, using some of that time to heal up, but otherwise making it through this area. All right.
Yes.
I didn't want to...
Water just beat the Soul Warrior pretty well. I think he missed one of the intended doubles, but that's totally okay. Cleaned it up very well. And the Soul Twister is just in the way. Well, that's dealt with.
Yeah.
These guys are jerks.
Yeah, in the words of Insomnia, the runners will just Shade Soul. A Soul Twister if they're too much in the way. Both the Spell Twister and the Knight being spell users, the Knight having the benefit of a spell that completely demolishes any Soul Twister in a single hit.
Mm-hmm. They ain't nothing.
Want to talk a little bit about this quick kill coming up, perhaps?
Yeah, so Soul Master coming up. With Shade Soul, you can cast the ability through walls, meaning, and it can break the little vials on the right with soul in it, as we'll see, flying right into them. If you cast a spell right then left, you'll get hopefully 3 hits.
I believe Water could have outright killed the boss there. I believe he got the perfect setup. 3 initial hits on his fireball. I believe this fireball will kill him. Yeah. I'm maybe Water is just not familiar with how much damage. He definitely had the soul to just fire off a second fireball. And that should have double killed it, but nonetheless, a very fast fight. That just could have been maybe 10, 20 seconds faster.
April gets the lever skip second try. Probably gonna have to heal. Yeah. Coming up to phase 2.
Water going for a semi-fast strat on the soul collection there. Doesn't have to melee the Soul Master as he balloons again towards the end. the fastest strat there would be to climb up on one of the walls and fireball him while he is diving. Either Water not feeling comfortable with that setup on 2 HP or just maybe not having practiced it. Either way, about 1930 picking up a dive.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
I see a question from chat. Would a death from Water even be enough for April to catch up? Right in this moment, I would say no. However, there is a portion of the run coming up where the bench is quite a bit behind from where you go, and you need to take quite a bit of time to catch up back to that.
Yeah, and on the way
does die there, April could possibly catch up.
Yeah, so April, just having finished off the first Soul Twister and the Soul Sanctum without too much issue, full HP, very high on Soul, going to be able to fight that Soul Warrior with maximum Soul, which does allow for a little bit of leeway even without a proper setup. But what Sylvie was talking, wow, that was as close as you can cut it with those elevator spikes.
Pretty much, yeah.
From Water's side. It's falling straight into the elevator spikes, but the hitbox not quite reaching the outer bits. But what Sylvie was mentioning here is that Water is making his way back to the Spire bench, which will be the last bench that he'll be able to sit on for a little while, unless he wants to take a massive time loss somewhere else. Which, again, looking to PB in this race, almost certainly not going to happen. The bench not going to happen, not the personal best.
Yes. No, with the way Water's running right now, there's definitely potential for a PB for him.
And he actually has the perfect amount of Geo to go through here.
Wow.
And he's still probably going to collect some extra anyway. Just because there just happens to be a couple of enemies on the way out of this, on the way out of the city that you almost inevitably run into and kill with this dive that we're about to see. There it is, and he'll pick up, yep, 14 Geo. It won't really help him out, sadly, throughout the rest of this run, but just shows that even with his speed, he actually has been managing his Geo, his soul, pretty much everything very well.
Yeah, April is having some super unfortunate RNG with the Spell Twister. It was just in her way the entire time up, and she just didn't have enough soul to Shade Soul either. Oh, it was actually really unfortunate. And she misses the dash slash. Having to wait for that.
Oh, okay. Getting a wall cling storage there, looking very nifty. And she'll be coming up. We'll see if she attempts the Soul Master quick kill, or there's a slightly lesser strat, or not lesser, slower strat that she'll be maybe showing off here, where instead of doing a double fireball in both directions, which does leave an opportunity to not only miss with a, missed inputs, but also bad RNG, she does go for a second Shade Soul, but not with the exact right setup, so it does miss.
Predicting where the Soul Master is going to spawn very well.
That was actually a fairly fast fight, almost as fast as Water's, I would say. She got some pretty good doubles there, even pushing the Soul Master into spikes at one point for an extra 50 damage, which is more than a single Shade Soul, but less than a double.
Yes. Shade Soul does 20, yes?
No, Shade Soul does 40. So a double hit would do 80.
Right. Of course.
With Shaman Stone, of course. Almost all spell numbers that you'll hear throughout the commentary of runners are going to be with the Shaman Stone equipped, just because that is the quintessential speedrun charm. It just does so much damage and leaves room to double hit enemies, as well as just increasing the base damage of spells. Really just one of the most efficient charms in the game.
April getting dive at a 2350. Roughly.
Yeah, so actually with that, going back to that question in chat about whether a death would be enough to make up for it, even a maximum time loss.
We're getting a Pog Axe.
Oh,
let's go. Oh no, he had it.
Oh, well, unfortunate.
Yeah,
a time loss that he can afford.
Indeed.
Oh, realizing he just doesn't quite have enough soul and going back. But what I was going to say was that even a maximum time loss death, which would be dying a little bit farther ahead in this section that he's in, would not really bring April back to parity with him. So it would actually be requiring quite a few mistakes from Water, I believe, in order for April to catch up.
If he died here, it would be fairly even. Maybe he's still a little bit ahead, but pretty...
3.5 minutes is... I mean, with the speed that he's been going,
yeah,
I don't believe it would take him 3 minutes to return back here.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Water is racing incredibly well right now.
Yep, and April, I do want to point out, still not having taken a death throughout the run, and I believe meeting her goal that she can perform a lot better than she demonstrated in her initial race.
Plus, tournament setting, quite stressful. It's easy to make mistakes when you are trying to perform for many people.
April, having said earlier that she would not be watching or she wouldn't be listening to the commentary. It's hard to tell whether she knows how far behind she is, and I don't believe Water commented on whether he'd be watching or not. Can't tell if he knows how far ahead he is, but he is playing a little bit safe here, going for a double heal in this room, going for a damage tank actually. I thought he was going for damageless, but no, not at all. This is the fastest cycle of the room. Trying to get through here, going for an underplat. That's what you'd like to see. But he went for a double heal again, just because this section is so long. A death here can mean a massive time loss. A racer coming back, almost from the grave. A death here can mean a lot in a race. So him opting to heal there is very, very respectable.
Absolutely.
Even top runners, if they notice they're on 1 or 2 HP, especially if they're going for this damage tank strat here.
Especially since this whole length isn't even over yet. We still have to go through a dark room, get D-Dark before we quit out, hit a bench. So the heal there is definitely respectable. He makes it through the stompers very well, not even taking a single hit. Frees the grub as we approach the dark room. There's a few strats to get through this dark room. I'm guessing Water knows how to... Oh, no, never mind. We're going to be seeing the C dash strat from Water. Still a very quick strat, very respectable.
So he went for a slightly alternative first C dash there. I believe going for, it looks to be a slightly faster strat. It's still on the safer side, but just making a few either improvisations or maybe just adapting a known strat that maybe less runners use. Generally, runners tend to go for either maximum safety or maximum speed. Him opting for this sort of balance is something I've not quite seen before, but it worked out very well for him. Not taking a single hit of damage through there.
Yeah, still on quite a good pace. Here we're going to see the D-Dark slide. Missing that, unfortunately. But if you dash slash here, on the last hit, we're going to see our little knight slide over, take a damage tank, and spawn up here with full control, even though the game is giving us D-Dark. Quite the sequence break.
Yeah. Normally, you will be stuck in an animation of receiving a spell. You've probably seen it. You've been paying close attention when they picked up Dive or Vengeful Spirit initially. A very long animation where the knight is standing around for what feels like half an hour, but probably closer to 15 seconds or less. But skipping that animation, very good. Oh, April going for Pog Axe.
April, unfortunate RNG. It looked like she went a little early too.
Yeah.
But going around. Water is coming up to Dream Sequence here, where you get the Dream Meal. In this category, I enjoy it a lot because you can skip over most of it by C-dashing right through it. You got to do a little bit of platform, but then you just hop up on a roof and then you just go whoosh right through the entire thing.
April on 3 HP here. Yeah, going for the heal, I was going to say. With water healing up to 4 HP, I would like to see her do the same. Just because, again, this area can be so dangerous, and a death here would put her pretty irrecoverably behind. So, knowing that, taking the safer route, going even for some soul on the Glim back there for additional safety. Probably not going to use that soul unless she takes too much damage going through the heart realm.
And here, Water got Dream Nail and is going to quit out to Watcher Spire bench, where we're going to be fighting the next boss, Watcher Knights. Quite the struggle for casual runners, and even a lot of speedrunners. But in this category, it is fairly simple. You just use D-Dark with Shaman Stone equipped, and they die in 3 spells, and it's quite fun.
Yeah. April does end up taking a full heal, and by the way, we do not know their full PB, I believe. Their race time, I do know for a fact, is 120. They told me that they have gotten better times in practice, though they do not have a submitted personal best. But they believe that they can show a much better time here today, and that is the main thing they're going for today, not beating Water, who I believe was going for Underplat, not quite getting it. Meanwhile, WaterWithFlavor taking on the Watcher Knights. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, like I already said, it's just 3 D-Darks, and they're going to die here. By the way, are you watching the restream, or?
I've been switching a little bit back and forth. Sometimes when I read chat, that's my fault.
You can just pop out Twitch chat, right?
Probably should do that.
Yeah, Water is having some rough RNG with the Watcher Knights, rolling away quite a bit, so he's not able to get them all in, or both of them in 1 D-Dark, and it's actually causing quite a bit of time loss. However, he deals with them pretty well. 1 health, doesn't matter.
Meanwhile, April saving an extra grub.
Oh,
on the way, yeah, she went and saved the Crystal Heart Room grub, going for a C-dash right on top. Looks like she had a very, very clean. Either she healed in the Sea Heart Room or just did not take a single point of damage through it.
Nice.
Either way.
Well, we do know she failed Underplat, right? So.
Oh, that's true. She did. She must have failed.
Water getting the first Dreamer of the run. We need 3 of these to go fight the Hollow Knight. Here's Lurian. Dash slash and some clean slashes. Nice. There's 2 strats to go through that. Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. One of the theories, I'm not sure if it's been tested with an accurate timer, is that a dash slash there is faster, because after a dash slash, you're allowed to swing your nails sooner than you would be after a single nail slash. So, just a very slight time save there, if anything at all.
April going for the Dark Room, C-dashing through, very respectable.
Oh, and demonstrating here one of the unfortunate things that can happen, where if you land on a spike in a dark room, any sort of hazard, in fact, you will be reset to the beginning of the room. And I believe that mechanic exists mainly so that you don't get stuck inside of a room that you can't see in, which would be, in a casual playthrough, very terrifying, but perhaps less disorienting in a speedrun where you need to traverse the entirety of that room. Fortunately, she did kill that Crystal Hunter at the beginning, so she didn't get punished by any cycles or have to reset the room.
We got Water talking in chat, sounding a little relieved that he's still ahead. Perhaps not watching the stream while he's running, just taking a moment while sucking up Lurian.
I believe he's actually commenting on being ahead of his own personal best.
Oh, that would make more sense. That would make more sense.
Yes. And April, once again, almost certainly ahead of her race time. Or I'm going to say certainly ahead of her race time. Not entirely sure how that compares to her PB. Or their PB.
I don't know if it was just me that... Oh, is stream getting a little jittery for you? Or is that just me?
It seems fine for me. I was looking away for a little bit. But I don't see anything going wrong on my end.
Okay. Well, Water has made it to Isma Split and has just so cleanly gotten all 3 of the skips. Spike Tunnel, first acid skip, second acid skip, and is going to take the damage tank to get early control during the animation of getting Isma's tier. Very, very clean. Very, very good run he's on.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I was a little bit distracted there looking at the chat, looking at Water's PB, almost missing the lead up to what is one of the more important sections of this race, whether you can get through the spike tunnel. It is considered a mandatory skip in this category just because going around takes so many minutes. You would have to fight an extra boss. It's not anywhere near as efficient as just jumping through that spike tunnel. No runner I've seen willing to take the 5 minute or so time loss that would be required to go around, especially since that is one of the more fun tricks of the run.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit RNG heavy section. Water's coming up to here. Malark room. There's efficient ways to get through it, but even those sometimes don't quite get you all the way through without taking damage.
Yeah, getting your C-dash stopped by your C-dash stopped by a Malark on the roof is probably, I think, the biggest annoyance there. Having to restart a C-dash or just abandon it completely, pretty frustrating stuff. I believe he was able to make it through the bridge room without any of the RNG hits.
That's nice.
Yeah. There's several knights that are in the way. But he makes it past the first Malark damage list, chooses to D-Dark that one, which is not RNG. Gets through that top one that I did mention would had the potential to knock him out of the crystal dash. Takes 1 damage there. Oh, and just a single damage from Malark throughout this is very, very nice. We'll see if he goes for a little bit of a time save trick. Not at all. It's a trick jump there that can save a little bit of time. But if you miss it more than twice, I believe it is not worth it. So just opting to not go for it at all. 2 seconds. 2 seconds if you get it first try. Loses time if you get it after the second try. The 1 damage was from a shadow creep. Yeah, the shadow creeps do tend to be in the way there. Chat correcting me that the Malark was not the thing that hit him on the way.
Yeah. Coming up to the next boss, Broken Vessel. Keep wanting to call him Loskin. A similar fight to Watcher Knights. Just D-Dark him a bunch of times and boom.
Yeah, I believe Water getting the initial setup where you can get 160 damage from 2 Shade Souls that can both double hit. Because otherwise that fight is not nearly that fast.
April is having a really nice Watcher Knights fight, actually.
Yeah, just completely demolish them.
That's actually very quick.
While Water's getting the wings, I would like to talk a little bit about the differences between that Watcher Knights fight and the other ones. Sylvie had mentioned earlier that you do want them to stack up against each other so that the D-Dart can get a full hit on all of them, or on both of them. Whereas in other categories, what you want them to do is actually roll away from you, so that you can get a double hit on either Shade Soul or a Vengeful Spirit, or a triple hit, and just get massive amounts of damage. Not exactly what you're looking for in this category. But she manages to get there quite nicely.
Very well. Sucking up the Lurian while Water is on his way to fight what is probably the most difficult boss of this run, Hornet 2. A lot of runners struggle with her. on their first few runs through this game, or through this run. Definitely easier when you have a better outload, like with a higher nail or something, but we're only gonna get nail 0, so it's a bit of a struggle sometimes with the parries and the everything.
Yeah, there are a few safe ways to fight her, but they're all quite slow. The fastest way to get through her is just to not worry too much about the damage that she might do to you from a close Shade Soul, and just try and get rid of her as quickly as possible. We might see from water, probably not actually, I will mention, it'll probably be skipping a safety bench, a camp bench that takes about 15 seconds, if not more, to grab. It's something that runners on PB pace typically will try to avoid, because a Death to Hornet 2 would typically put them out of the PB range anyway. Literally looking back at the camp bench, whipping out his dream nail saying, no, I will not be going for that. Trying to draw our attention, ringing a bell saying, no, here we're on PB pace, we're going to get a PB in a race.
Here he comes. Let's see. Oh, very clean job.
And we might get some mixed comms here, just as April is going for these Izma skips on the side. Going for probably 2 of the most. Wow! First try there.
Let's go.
On the way down as well, I believe, which is a little bit harder to pull off. Took some practice, I'm sure, to learn how to nail that trick on the way down. Going for a safety Shade Soul here, hitting all 3 Wurmps. Excellent.
And Water's having a very clean fight with Hornet too.
Hornet demonstrating one of the biggest time losses in our fight, which is just complete RNG, just parrying spells left and right. I'm a little uncertain whether those spells are actually dealing damage to her. She can parry the full spell damage if she does it late enough, but I believe... Oh, it looks like they did do full damage despite the parries.
Yeah. And April having a very good Ismus tier split. Almost just as clean as Water.
Yeah, and I would say actually she just because of the Watcher Knights RNG, I forgot where I was going earlier talking about the different things that you want from the Watcher Knights, and the differences in other fights. People say that in any percent, the Watcher Knights are about 20% RNG, 80% execution, whereas in this category, it is a lot more reliant on the Watcher's RNG to line up together. There's almost nothing you can do about it if they choose not to. And so April actually saving a significant amount of time on the Watch Knights just from RNG, also getting the RNG across that bridge where none of the enemies are in their way, and they don't have to stop their Crystal Dash, which is again a very difficult time loss to take. Or it's not difficult, annoying.
Yeah. April is going to be coming up to the Moloch room and Broken Vessel fight, while WaterWithFlavor is approaching a more slow part of the run, getting Cyclone Slash. Yes.
It's a Cyclone Slash. Yeah.
Yes, my bad. Cyclone Slash, and then going to fight, a bit of the slower part of the run, but still exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, no real chance of dying or major time losses on the way. The biggest time loss probably taking a bit of a spike hit, but so we'll be focusing a little bit more on April here. And hopefully we can talk a little bit more about the strategies involved in dodging and avoiding these Molochs. Believe that first Moloch is not RNG. They're able to dodge that 100% of the time, as well as able to dodge this one 100% of the time if they choose to D-Dark, which April did, making it through with less Mauler kits, or the same amount of Mauler kits so far as Water, and getting just tapped by this one, opting for the safety strat of collecting a little bit of extra soul on this Mauler, going for a full heal, not wanting to die to the Broken Vessel, which... Wow! I did not know that the Mauler could hit you if you're tucked into that corner.
Yeah, I think it's the left one you got to be tucked into if you don't want to get hit.
Really? Yeah, because I've seen.
Oh.
Wow!
Nice.
She's opting for that small 2-second time save that Water actually did not go for and getting it first try. So that's actually great that she's they practiced that.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see that strat. Again, slightly risky, but I've seen just top runners from around the world missing that trick. So it is no small feat to go for that with that confidence and get it first try.
Water getting Cyclone Slash at 39.20. Very good time.
Yeah, April choosing to opt out of a fight or opt out of. Yeah, that was okay. Well, okay. The broken vessel was not nearly as close to dead as I thought. Oh my goodness.
Okay, there we go.
April will opted not to go. There's a strategy there to pogo. The broken vessel as it's doing that move. It's very good for damage, but can be a little bit risky, especially if it's unpracticed. But April opted not to go for that. As a result, missing out on some damage and taking a little bit more, perhaps, from. Either way, they managed to handle the fight rather well, coming out with, again, no deaths in this race.
Yeah.
On either team, so.
Incredibly respectable. A bit of an interesting part on Water's side here. This drop here is a little difficult. There's a few safety strats that are one. Oh, it looks like he's going for the non-safe strat, but taking a couple of hits.
I did not know you could pogo on Lumaflies. It makes sense if you can pogo on an explosion. Why shouldn't you be able to pogo on electricity?
That's true. That's true.
I have not seen that strategy at all. It would slow the fall down and reset that momentum, which is probably why I do not see top runners going for it. But again, Water going for these strats that are an interesting mix between the safety strats that I've seen, runners that opt for a little bit of the safe strats and runs, and the absolute fastest. He tends to go for this hybrid, and that's something I like to see, a little bit of adaptation.
Do you think we're gonna get a 1 cycle Umu here?
I think that Water will certainly go for it with a 55 time looking for a PB.
Yeah.
I don't believe he has an option to at least not go for it. I have no idea how well practiced he is on this, whether this is something like an 80% chance or a 10% chance that he gets this, but...
He's definitely going for the setup.
Yeah, okay. I almost forgot the setup a little bit. I have not practiced this as much myself. Umu's a little high here, yeah, and he misses that first nail hit. Unlikely to get, the damage he needs there.
Misses, I would say about 60 damage off.
At most it would probably be 40. Just one of the spells not double hitting. If not 80.
He missed 2 nail hits.
Nail hits are 5 damage each.
Yeah.
Did he miss 1?
Yeah, he missed 2 nail hits.
I really only saw 1.
Needing 2 nail hits and a fireball to be able to kill it in the second round. Still a very respectable Umu. April coming up to Hornet 2 here. I missed if she took the safety bench.
Water announcing that it is no longer winnable. It seems that he did have a 1 cycle Umu in his personal best, with a 2 cycle losing at least 20 seconds depending on the attacks that Umu gives. But that's all right. At least one runner may be able to PB. That being April. Going to need to not die on this Hornet fight though. Choosing not to heal on 2 HP. We'll see if they're punished for that. Ooh.
Yeah.
And they are. Going for a heal when Hornet is not staggered is extremely risky. Though they did opt for that safety bench, which will minimize the time loss significantly. Water's PB late game was very, very difficult to match, according to a chat member. Yeah, who's again presumably familiar with water stream.
Yeah.
April collecting their shade with no issues, going straight into the Hornet fight, going for a Dream Nail at the beginning of the fight. I did miss that last time. I almost thought that April was going for a Dream Nail when they died to Hornet, but I thought I must have seen wrong and that they were going for a heal, but
they were going for a heal.
Okay.
They were going for a heal. Yeah, Dream Nail is a lot easier to get second time you're going through because you're not frozen, unlike when you're first going through with the text box and everything. Water taking a couple unfortunate hits of damage with the exploding jellyfish trying to C-dash through.
A little hard to hear just because April is behind and typically we use the audio of the front runner. I usually use audio cues to tell how many double hits are going through in the Hornet fight. Can't entirely tell how many they've taken or they've given Delta. It looks like a significant amount with how fast that fight was. I believe a much faster fight than their first time through that fight, which
very good. Very good.
Really quick mental reset from April, not getting caught up in any of Hornet shenanigans.
Yeah. Very respectable run from April. Very respectable.
45-minute King Brand, not terrible at all.
No. Coming up to Great Slash here. In speedrun setting, it's not the most exciting, but casually, this is one of the most exciting areas to go through. The music hits hard and the movements exciting. But knowing the strats, very easy to just fly through without much issues at all.
Well, just a bit of an update on a pace. April definitely going to be capable of pulling through, at the very least, a sub 110, provided the rest of the run goes decently. So I believe they'd be quite happy with that. About 10 minutes faster than their last race time. Possibly faster than their PB.
Oh, going for the grub. Let's go. Couple extra grubs that April gets to save here. That's nice. Water, I know for a fact, is not the biggest fan of Mila. Since he is no longer on PB pace, we might see a Mila death.
That's true. So I actually just went into and found that April's PB was about a 114. As of a week ago. It's possible that they've PB'd since then, but this pace is definitely several minutes ahead of personal best, with most of the major choke points out of the way, I might add.
Yeah.
Unless they have a very hard time with Umu or with the sibling climb, I would like to say that pretty much home free at this point.
I'd have to more or less agree. Water coming up to the Squid Arena here to get what is it? Howling Wraiths. Some interesting movement here. There's a couple ways to handle it. Let's see how Water deals.
The Squits don't have entirely predictable behavior, but they do have predictable spawns, and that does mean that runners can get the jump on every single one of them. Oh, opting to damage tank the spikes there at the bottom. Are a little bit behind, but should be all cut up now. He does get through the arena.
Very well. April getting a 48, it looked like 10 or 11 cyclone slash. Very good time.
Water, showing off one of the strategies I've seen from runners who like to take a little bit of safety, which typically you'd want in this section. A huge section again. The longest other than Sea Peaks, I believe, without a bench available. One mandatory damage tank along the way as well. So choosing to heal before getting the Howling Wraiths will mean that he is both at 4 HP and full soul, with the Howling Wraiths restoring 100% of the soul meter.
Yes, definitely a respectable heal, giving him leeway to fly through the area without much hesitation, which is good. Coming to Little Arena here. Fairly easy on this patch. One shot with Shade Soul on those Petras.
Yeah, water getting a little bit on the left of that mandatory damage tank, a little too far on the left. It's a somewhat precise respawn there, abusing the hazard respawn mechanics, triggering what is supposed to be a respawn from a lower area, but just hitting a little dip in the spikes there tricks the game into thinking you're on the lower half, and it spawns you down there. Missing it just once is not terrible. Again, it comes at the cost of the HP, which does typically lead to a heal, which he did opt to take there. But not a huge deal.
Very good. Collecting some soul from the moss bags there. I know that's not their actual name, but you know. On this patch, their spikes that they shoot out don't damage you, so they're really just sitting there just for soul collection.
Yeah, and water will be going through the deep nest completely in the dark while April is fighting Umu. I'll be interested to see...
She's also coming up for a 1 cycle.
Yeah, which is good. A lot of runners, if they practice the 1 cycle... Even missing the 1 cycle will lead to a guaranteed 2 cycle. Some runners feel like the any percent setup can be more consistent.
It's going to be a bit right here, it looks like. Ooh. Yeah, not quite understanding entirely how to get 1 cycle.
Or perhaps not going for it, just going for the general idea, which again, provided you know the backups and all that, can lead to a fairly simple 1 cycle. Looks like they're getting the good RNG where Umu does not give them. Ooh, rough. And in the meantime, Water has demonstrated just how quickly you can do Dark Deep Nest. We look away to see this Umu fight, which is around a minute, and already he's made his way through the entirety of Deep Nest to the Beast Den, where he will be collecting the 3rd and final Dreamer.
Yeah, we unfortunately completely missed one of the most interesting parts of the game. Then again, you can't really see anything, so maybe it's not that interesting. But either way, Water is having a very good run, especially in a tournament setting.
I think the most interesting thing about Dark Deep Nest is the reason that we do it, which is that the lantern costs so much geo. That 1,800 geo price tag takes an immense amount of time to collect relics, to bring them to Lem, any other geo methods or geo farming methods being even slower than that. And so just opting not to go for the lantern at all, because we have the Desolate Dive to get into the Crystal Peaks, the lantern is not required for any part of the run. So it's much faster to just learn how to go through the rooms almost blind. Yeah. April, I believe, ending Umu with a 4 cycle. About a 40-second time loss compared to what you can have there, or maybe a minute. But I'm sure that they are perfectly fine with this. Again, on pace for a huge personal best here in this race, which I believe was their goal.
Yeah, we're gonna cheer April on the whole way.
Yeah, 114. It was 114 as of a week ago, to my knowledge, at least. So they may have PB'd since then. I don't believe they have one on the leaderboards, but perhaps they'll be able to submit this race as a viable time.
Water is coming up to the last area of the game before going up to fight the final boss, the Abyss, where we need to collect 2 abilities, the Shade Cloak and Howling Wraiths, or sorry, no, Abyss Shriek. Some interesting movement. A scary section called Sibling Climb, where a bunch of enemies that deal 2 damage to you, you gotta dip around them, poke on them to get up to a lighthouse and shine the light over the lake so you can cross.
Unfortunately, coming in on 5 HP means that you can afford the damage tank a little bit, though you wouldn't want to. Damage tanking while trying to pogo usually leads to your nail phasing through the enemy, so to speak. So they do probably still want to avoid taking any damage because it makes it harder to maneuver through here. With the fastest strats to get through this section involving bouncing on the enemies, just as he's doing, using the sibling elevator, so to speak, to get through here. Making it through very cleanly.
Yeah.
Some small time losses there, but nothing major, no hits taken.
Yeah, very, very well done.
Oh.
April, unfortunately, following the acid has tier, so it's not damage tank, fortunately. But just a bit of time loss going on already. A great slash. While Water is going to land in the pool and quit out, so you get dash slash. Using the loadless timer to his advantage, quitting out and loading back in saves about 10 seconds instead of just waiting out the animation.
Yeah, and on his way to Abyss Shriek, I believe, not dash slash.
Dash slash.
Sorry. Anyway, April about to get great slash on the other end. We'll see actually if they know the way to get through this room on one cycle. Oh, barely makes it under that third Duranda.
Yeah.
A fantastic show. Speed there. No need to stop through this section other than to equip those C dashes. Oh, they do manage to stop their C dash before they go through that transition, avoiding the guaranteed damage that otherwise happens if you go through that transition at full speed. One of the things I'm not sure Team Cherry may have coded on purpose to guarantee damage you, to punish you for trying to go fast. Not sure why they would do that, but they do similar things in other sections. Wouldn't be surprised.
Water getting Abyss Shriek at 52-14, coming up to a very exciting portion of the run called Abyss Climb, where he needs to get out of the abyss, pogoing on spikes and using all of the movement so far.
I'm actually not convinced at all that this is not personal best pace for Water. I could be wrong, but I believe. Oh well.
Ooh.
Okay, there, Water. Perhaps getting a little nervous, realizing that he's on personal best pace. I'm not entirely sure, but his time is at 55:30, I believe.
Yeah,
I think it's possible to beat that.
It is possible. Yeah, it is possible. He just needs to.
Not too practiced on the Abyss Climb, perhaps.
Yeah. Focusing on. Oh.
All right. I've definitely commentators cursed the heck out of this.
Yeah.
The heck out of this Abyss Climb.
Our bad.
I shouldn't have said anything. Their case split is over 2 minutes. Nate believing that THK is over a minute. All right, my mistake then. Nate informing me that it is in fact not entirely reasonable. Wasn't on PB pace there, which did make that Abyss Climb a little interesting.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment at all from WaterWithFlavor.
April getting a 56-10. What is that? Howling Race. Doing very good. Are we going to see the Mila kill here?
So there are actually we've seen a few different runners opt for different tactics on what they do with a little bit of extra time. Some of them talk to Elderbug. Some of them will visit the Grub Father. Some of them will kill Mila. Some of them will walk up to Mila and walk away. Well, there are a lot of options here. I don't think we should really limit this to only Mila killing. But
we are going to get none of that.
Yeah, it seems that Water wanting to show off again a better race time than they were previously able to perform. It is possible that this run actually does beat not their current PB, but their previous PB coming into their first race, which I would say is would be an impressive mark of improvement.
Water mentioning in chat that he forgot about Mila.
Oh.
Oh, he's coming up to fight the final boss, the Hollow Knight. There's some interesting strategies for all skills. We'll probably be seeing a lot of Howling Wraiths. The most damage... Sorry, yes, Abyss Streak. The most damage you could possibly output in a single ability. Yeah, there he goes.
Mm-hmm. The only ability that could possibly match the strength of that singular attack being a Cyclone Slash with a fully upgraded nail. Though, obviously in this category, they do not have the luxury of farming what I believe is over 6,000 Geo and 6 Pale Ore, so...
That's way more than that, I believe. It's... like over 10k.
No, definitely not.
The last one's like 8,000.
No, it's 4k.
What? No, that's the third one.
No.
Am I tripping?
It's 250, 800. We'll worry about the Geo numbers later. He's coming up on the end of this fight.
Look, I'm a speedrunner. I don't care about upgraded nails.
Alright, he's on the final phase of this boss. The Hollow Knight, very likely a single streak from death. There we go.
There we go. GG to WaterWithFlavor. Very commendable run. With a really good time of 56...
20 something?
Yeah. April is in the dark room right now. Doing it very successfully, actually.
Yep, final dark room of Deep Nest. Second time we've missed Dark Deep Nest. Very sorry about that, but there have been hype moments going on for other runners both times.
56-24. Very, very good time for Water. I'm going to swap over and put Water is done. So hopefully we'll be hearing April's audio. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And Water, feel free to hop in whenever you want. If you want to.
I actually believe they've changed the format to the runners will only... Oh, no, perhaps I'm wrong.
I think it's up to them, whatever they like.
Yeah, I had thought that they would only be invited by the bot after both runners were marked this time, but clearly I'm wrong.
No, I think it's some people like to wait for the other racer to finish. Some would prefer to hop in early. I think it's all good. But
April taking out Hera again in other categories such as any percent, taking out Hera would be the last thing that they need to do before facing the Hollow Knight. Here it is still kind of the home stretch though. They will take a singular visit to the Abyss to grab, of course, Shade Cloak and the Howling Wraiths. With April on PB pace, I would be very surprised if they do not finish the race here. Potential for, I want to say, about a 6-minute PB here. Looking very good.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope they can keep it together pretty well. Yeah, can we all get some love for April in the chat right now? Let's root her on so she can finish strong, alright? Just hitting the hour mark. Going into the Abyss. Let's go.
I do really want to check what Water's previous PB is, if I can find that. See if that eked it out. I mean, Water is in the chat. We can ask him afterward how he feels compared to the PBs. So I will refrain from that, actually. We might be able to talk a little bit about some movement tech here. Coming from April. Not going for swag door, which I believe Water opted for. Not saving any time at all, I believe. That is why it is a swag door. Water, welcome to the voice chat.
Hello, congratulations on your race and the win.
Thanks. Okay, so at Abyss Climb, I got really nervous.
Yeah, I was expecting.
If you couldn't tell.
I could tell a little bit. I was wondering if that was. I thought maybe you're on personal best pace there.
Actually, my best possible time kept creeping down from like 50, 57 from
getting
56, 20 something, and all of a sudden it was at 55, 35, and I was really nervous. Was
that a personal best pace then?
It would have been. It would have been a tiny PB, but yes.
April.
Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking that it was on a good pace there, but causing you to forget about Mila. April managing to take. It looked like they must have taken a hit of damage on one of the tentacles beforehand because they are on.
And they just squirted through, squeezed through the siblings there, the last, the platform there. Luckily getting by. So that Umu fight kinda did it to you, huh?
Yeah, Umu was way too high, and so I couldn't pull off the setup properly.
Yeah.
Or as well as I wanted to.
Yeah, the missed nail hits there, not pushing Umu through the wall, but that's alright. I believe the question I was going to ask you was whether this beats your previous PB, not your current one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Before that I had a 56, 57.
Oh yeah, not even close, so. I would say that is so impressive a mark of improvement to beat what was, just a little over a week ago, your personal best, what you were coming into the first race with. Say that is a marked improvement.
Yeah. I'm glad that I'm doing better now. There was like a week and a half where I was just not able to finish a run at all.
Yeah, I relate to that very well.
Don't mind my stream feed, by the way. I just have some unfinished business.
Seems we're going to be getting some murder in the stream while April comes up and gets her. Ooh, a little early. Oh no!
We'll be having to go back and farm a couple of these shadow creeps here.
Oh, that is very unfortunate.
Time save for next run because this is, once again, almost certainly a PB, barring what would have to be several deaths to the Hollow Knight. Which at the level of gameplay that April's been demonstrating today, not likely at all.
Water sitting at the entrance to Mila, charging up a nail art, dash slash, one nail hit, and a cyclone to finish her off. Goodbye, Mila.
Some people believing that spells are a less honorable way to defeat that vicious miner. Perhaps confusing her with
April is having a very nice Abyss climb right now.
They've been practicing their Abyss climb ILs.
Yeah.
Oh, just missing that hardest pogo there. I believe. I don't think I'm wrong to call it that. It's a little risky. Oh my goodness, you're just going with maximum confidence for it once again. We'll probably be healing at either the dirt mouth bench or if they forget the all right.
Yeah, no, that honestly very clean.
Yeah,
that was very good Abyss climb.
Anyway, we'll be seeing them make their way back to Dirtmouth, either benching there on the way out of the stag station, which I believe is the fastest way, or stopping to heal on the way to the Hollow Knight in the Black Egg. But I was going to say that some people seem to think that killing Milo with his spell is disrespectful, seeming to confuse Milo with the Nail Master, or the Nail Smith, who desires to be cut down with the pure nail at the end of his life. Milo, I believe, being a zombie, can't choose a preferred method of death. So,
Fair enough.
all right, April getting the great slash. The amount of strategies that April has pulled off through this run, that I've seen a lot of runners just not even bothering to practice. This is quite impressive.
I'd say April has actually improved much more than me in those 2 weeks.
Really? That's awesome.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this is. They talked about saying how they felt that their last race time just didn't reflect the skill and practice that they had in this category, and I would say that this making a huge difference. Just a single death to what is probably the hardest boss in this category. Huge improvement. Huge improvement for that.
All around a very impressive run. And we're gonna come up to the final boss here, the Hollow Knight. Well, Water talks to everybody.
Nope, a very small bow or nod to the knight before the battle begins. Opting not to go for that initial shriek that is available. Missing 2 very high damage attacks early on.
Yeah.
We'll just lengthen the fight a little bit. Didn't take too much damage there. One of the risks in this fight is that while the Hollow Knight does go down very quickly in this.
Nope.
Oh! Getting hit.
What?
Stun hop? I haven't seen that before. That's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, there's a few glitches with the Hollow Knight. That one being, I believe, one of the more predictable ones. If you stagger them while going into a jump, the Hollow Knight.
Oh no!
Oh no!
What is happening?
This is one of the less predictable tricks. I believe it can be caused by the first one. Axe actually having showed this off on stream in what was a potential PV. The knight just slides along the floor there. It can be very difficult, if not near impossible, to dodge.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're good.
Okay, the knight being a little nicer to her there. Oh,
there we go. Stressful.
What a close Hollow Knight fight. I was going to say, one of the dangers is that while you have so much damage to output against the Hollow Knight in this category, you are slightly more vulnerable than you would be in other categories with the streak there. But a massive PV for April. Around 7 minutes, I believe. I will be getting them in call if they desire to join.
I will mark April as done, and should be using the Hollow Knight background music. If it is too loud, please let us know.
I believe they've had the volume down a little bit lower than they did in the initial rounds.
And April.
There you go.
Please feel free to hop in whenever you would like.
Yep.
So again, Water, congratulations on the win.
Hello, April. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How you all doing?
Doing lovely, thank you. How about you?
Yeah, pretty great. I just PB'd by I think 7 minutes. So
that's awesome.
I'm pretty happy.
Okay, yeah, congratulations, April. I would.
April, I'm sorry that I couldn't provide the double PB.
Oh, you didn't. What was your time? Oh wait.
56:24.
That's so good.
I believe that I have had
PB, right?
that Sylvia and I caused a little bit of confusion with your pronouns, April. I believe sometimes referring to you as female pronouns. Somebody corrected us in chat. I wasn't entirely sure myself, so I went on to.
It's fine. Like anything is fine. It's usually he or they, but I don't mind she if it's not like in bad spirit.
Yeah.
We called you she maybe quite a few times, so we apologize for that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy watching it back.
Excellent. So he, they for April in the future. We'll be taking note of that. But congratulations, both of you, on the very good runs.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm glad we were able to provide.
April, I wanted to comment on that Abyss Club of yours. It is actually very impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think I choked twice, but I actually practiced 2 days ago, and I got a 39. No, 30. Yeah, 39. I think.
Yeah,
That's
just
very
about.
good.
Wow.
Just 8 seconds off the record for the abyss climb, I believe. Very, very good. Definitely.
Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, the climb was better than mine.
Yeah.
I went all the way down to 1 HP, I think.
Yeah.
Water
Opting
and
for a
fortune.
heal there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I almost died to THK in the end.
It was a little scary.
it was scary.
Slidey THK.
Yeah, the slidey THK. I've heard. I believe. Oh, I didn't even notice Water opting to talk to the Elderbug here at the very end of the race. A tradition, perhaps inspired by our friend Sira. But I was going to say, yeah, some people I believe speculate that hitting the Hollow Knight during a jump, or staggering the Hollow Knight during a jump, is what causes them to do the slide, or is more likely to. I'm not entirely sure on that. If anyone in chat knows what the cause of that is, you can go ahead and speak up. But otherwise, very glad you were able to pull through, even with that incredibly difficult glitch. With even XU mentioning on stream when that happened that he doesn't quite know how to respond when that happens, nearly dying himself. But
Actually, I would have died if it weren't for the fact that I saw this like a week ago in someone else's run, and like only because of that I knew what it was. And when I saw like it happening, I knew that I was just like I had to pogo on him and stuff, and yeah.
That's it.
Still got hit, but I think that's the only reason why I survived the fight.
Yeah, that's actually excellent. Always great to pick up different strategies from other runners while watching them. This has been the absolute most fun thing about this tournament for me, is just being able to learn strategies just by watching these other players. Everyone running the same category all at once. Some people developing new strategies and time saves with this new timer that's come out. It's just been a fantastic era for the whole community, I think.
We get April here talking to Elderbug, concluding their run very well.
Also, I just got a really strange C-dash bug that I never had before, so that's coming up shortly.
That sibling climb of yours, April, was a little scary, wasn't it? Having to sneak through a couple of siblings at the end there.
I even healed at the beginning so that I had 5 HP, but then I got hit by the void tendrils. Surprisingly.
Oh, there's the C-dash.
What in the world?
Oh, that is just brilliant. A slowed down C-dash there.
Oh, I missed it. I'll have to look back.
That was incredible. Slow down C-dash straight into the explosion. Not quite the Rocket Man that I've heard of. There's a glitch that can be performed that's somewhat similar to that, but definitely not the same thing. But
I wonder if that grub is going to count towards Monsta's list, or if it wasn't in the run, it won't.
Oh no, it absolutely should not. I believe.
Okay. I don't think it should. I already went out of my way to save a few grubs, so.
Yeah, that was very nice of you, by the way, opting to tank a little bit of time. Again, this is a huge personal best for you, is that right?
Yeah, and also I was in the green the entire. Wait, was I? Yeah, I was in the green the entire time, and I got golden 10 splits
here.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, but
shoutouts to 4Cycle Umu, but.
You definitely have some time saves for the next PB.
Yeah. Time save for next run.
Let's go.
Always. Every time.
I believe your previous PB was around 114, is that right?
Yeah, it was a 114.17, I think. So actually 7 minutes 1 second PB.
That's amazing. And it's just a great showcase of improvement. And as you had mentioned before, I mentioned a few times on stream the conversation we had where you said that you felt like you had put in a lot more practice and had a higher skill level than you had demonstrated in that first race. So definitely able to show that off here.
Thank you.
Well, I think this is a good spot to start to wrap it up. Thank you to both runners. Would either of you have anything you would like to say?
Any
Kill Mila.
The Kill
Cuties in
Mila
chat.
shout-out.
Cuties
Jeez.
comes. Thanks for
Alright.
commentating.
No worries.
Thank you, April.
Any
Also-
last comments,
Yeah.
Sabi? Oh, yes, also.
Shout outs to Combs.
Coming your race next week, Sabi.
Alright, that sounds excellent.
At least I hope, because when I signed up, I actually got the times wrong. I thought it was 0 my time. It's actually 2 a.m. my time, so I'll have to stay up for
Oh,
that.
alright, well, I wish you luck.
Thanks. I
Thank
might
you very-
be a bit tired, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be my first comms as well.
Alright, well, I had a pleasure commentating this race. It was fantastic all around, talking about how close you guys were to PB and everything. Thank you everyone for joining the stream, for cheering on both runners throughout the entire race. Just excellent vibes all day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Have a good
Yeah.
night or day.
Good night or day.
Good night.
Here.